Hello, welcome to ALW Collectibles. Today we're taking a jump back into the world of Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, with another Terracon baddie. This time, Voyager Class 2023 Battletrap. And I'm going to say it up front, out of the three main bad guys in Transformers Rise of the Beasts, I got to say hands down, this is one of my favorite looks. He just fits the name so well. The mold looks great. Love the coloration on it. This, of course, is Battletrap in his alternate mode, which is a licensed GMC C70 tow truck. He comes packaged in robot mode, but I like to go from vehicle to robot. And having said that, this looks really sharp. He does come with one accessory, which is attached to the back here. So we'll look at that in a second. Yeah, that looks really sharp. I like it. Let's take a closer look at this. You got GMC on the front here. I love the silver and black. I think it looks really cool. Then you got some weathering all throughout here. I wish the weathering had just kept going down. I think it would have just added to it. And a little coloration on the tires. I do have a few nitpicks on this. Such as the peg sticking out on the side here. Small tiny nitpicks on this. Overall, I think it looks really sharp. Love how you can see the compartments on the side. Very hollow in the back though. See the hand sticking out though, that's another down point, plus his feet right there on the bottom. Does roll very nice. And the tow winch will go up and down. And it does move side to side a little. So, pretty good overall. Love the light bar assembly on this thing, it looks really sharp. You got the horn up on top, ram scoop with the red in there, translucent orange windows, and Bernie's towing and recovery on both sides. Took me a second to read that, and I'm even wearing my glasses today. Yeah, overall, really nice. And of course, this is his ball and chain. It does open up, and it can be held in his hand. And there's an unannounced part to this that I did discover that I will review when we get to it. Overall, really cool. This looks nice, like I said. Not too much overlay with the coloration. I like how it's grouped, and it looks really clean. That's another big key for this figure for me. And what I mean clean is it doesn't look like you can see a lot of kibble just hanging off. Everything is pretty much contained where it needs to be. Having said that, let's transform this little guy. And his transformation is pretty cool. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start in the front with the front half of this cab here. We're going to take this section right here with the light bar up to the ram scoop and lift it up like so, which is going to detach the front. We're just going to leave that sitting there for a minute. We're going to come to the back, separate these, which is going to loosen the arms, and we're going to take the two side panels and the back and swing them out. Now he looks like a futuristic tow truck. Sorry. Alright, next, where these panels of the Bernie's lit on the side and the arm, make sure this is out of the way. We're going to swing this out like so. And we're going to tab that in right there. Same thing on this side. Double tab, double rotation, I mean. As you can't see a thing. There it is. Next, I'm going to work on the legs, and then we will work on the top half. So underneath this is a slide tab. So you're just going to slide them apart and separate them. This piece here flips in. This is going to come down. This piece here, the yellow stripe, is going to flip in, and his foot's going to flip forward. Same thing over here. Flip in, flip in, lock in place, and flip forward. And there are his legs. Next, we're going to take and rotate his crotch around. Now comes the real fun. We're going to take this piece, I'm going to fold it in, and rotate it. Next, we're going to take this part, and here comes the fun part. Flip his head forward, bring this forward, flip this one part down, and two parts down. Now in here, you'll notice there's a tab and a port. Kind of hard to see it on both sides. Those are going to clip in there, and his head's going to come over the top and clip in. Next, we're going to bring his arms down, flip this around like so. Almost done, I promise you. Same thing over here. Arm, rotate, and flip that in. We're going to take this piece, flip it up. Same thing over here. Flip that up. We're going to take the light bar and just bring that in. Now it's kind of hard to see this. There are two tabs on each side. And in the orange, there's a tab slot. That is going to tab into those. If it would do it. There we go. There. Oh, I had it lined up and I lost it. There. There is Battletrap in his robot mode. And little note though, these are not going to fully tab in on the back. Oh, now mine's giving me trouble. It kind of sits on the tab. Like so. Right at the door handle. And then these just come in and sit behind like so. The reason I say that is the way I did it, I realized I set it wrong and it looked like you're trying to plug into these ports behind here and it's not accurate. That's how it should be, just raised up a little bit. Having said that, there is Battletrap in his robot mode. And I like him. I think he looks really good. Like I said, he fits the name so well. Quick little bio on him. Like I said, I search the internet. I go to multiple sites to put these bios together as best as I can. If things repeat, I don't constantly repeat them. I just put together the most complete picture. And his is relatively short, but it speaks volumes. So Battletrap is an elite scout. Menacing, unrelenting, and very bloodthirsty. He takes great pride in being a herald of Unicron and will follow any order given to him by his commander, Scourge. That's it. That's his bio. And it is really cool. So let's take a closer look at that. Move that out of the way for a minute. Let's look at his face. And I think that face sculpt says a lot. I like that. You got silver, orange, gray in there. Kind of reminds me of the Robotech thing with the wings off the top of the head. Love that they detailed the neck in here. That looks really sharp to me. My only issue is, like I said, in the movie they look kind of beat up. I wish how the grill, it transfers over, you can see. Here, it's like dirty. I wish the whole toy had been like that. Especially for robot mode. I think it just would have been the final touch. And I love how this all sits with the front of the truck right here. Did that clip in properly? Yes, it did. And then you got the chest right here, angled back. A lot of detail on him. You got spikes on his knees. And I like that you have the silver, the gray, and the orange. It looks like the panels of the truck and the doors right there. That's what it looks like to me anyway. But then you have them here as well. Really sharp. On the side you got the orange plate, the 3 spikes right here. A lot of molding on this. And I love the detail molding. I think it really offsets it. Articulation all the way around. We'll do a full exorcist. Shoulder will go all the way around, in and out. And he does have bicep rotation. This piece here, the shoulder pauldron will move. Nothing at the wrist. And his toe kibble will move around. That's my detractor in robot mode, though, is this kibble for the toe is in the way. Waist, even though this is here, if you move it slightly, will go all the way around. He can do the full splits. Not the greatest, though, but a little bit hard to do with him. But he can do them. He does have thigh rotation, knee bend, and instead of ankle rotation here, he has it at the front of the foot. And you see I moved that, so now all this came unattached. Really cool. His biggest issue, though, is when you move him around, the back right here will come detached because it's just sitting there. There's nothing clipping it in, and it'll move around and shift. To me, that's always been a distraction. And then, of course, his kibble on his forearms. I mean, I wish we could have turned that into a weapon, but you never know. Having said weapon, again, this is his mace. He can actually hold this. If you open it in half, there's a peg, and that peg will go right into his hand and close around his hand, like so. However, there is an unannounced piece that goes to this. When I say unannounced, it's not in any instructions. And I found it by accident, but by looking online, I found it is true. Optimus Prime and Ape Link come with these chains. These chains will work with his mace. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to the side where there's a port, plug that in, and it takes some finagling to do this. But if you lean it back enough, oh no, now I won't do it. I had it leveled in there too. Well, now it's being a pain in the butt. But it takes a lot of finessing, but it kind of looks like he's throwing it now. So it's really cool. I'm not going to breathe on it. He's holding it. So the chains from Primal and from Ape Link will work with his mace as well. And like I've said on both my Primal and Ape Link videos, I'm not a fan of this. So he's probably going to end up with the set. And he can store this. This can go be stored here. That's actually in the instructions. Or it can be stored on the back. And this is the thing I've always had issues with. It's supposed to clip in over here somewhere. There it goes. There it goes. There's a peg and a port right there. That's how it's supposed to clip in robot mode. And that is his storage. Overall, I can't say enough about this figure. I really love it. I think it looks really cool. I think it was a nice addition to the toy line. Interesting character. I wish it was more of a backstory on where his origins come from. Because you really don't get anything on any of the Terracons except their Herald's a Unicron. Which is a big thing in the Transformers universe, but more of a backstory for him would be appreciated for me. But having said that, like I said, posability, I've got to give it to this figure. For such a large figure, like I said, I like using those as like a weapon. It is really good. And his balance is nice. Especially with those toes. I can't complain. So this has been ALW Collectibles. If you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe if you wish. Comments are always welcome. I want to say thank you to all the channel members and subscribers. I appreciate it. A lot more videos coming this way. I'm trying to get back on track and get back to the sets that I want to get finished. Again, it just takes time, and I just need to make sure I find the time to do them properly. I just don't want to throw a video out just to throw a video out. I want to make a video that actually is going to be decent for you. Hopefully I do. You all have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.